start.
A clean start?
Yeah.
Well, here we go with lesson 13. Depression affects everyone around the depressed individual. The depressed individual's world collapses around them, so it feels. Here comes Camilla. The depressed individual's there, and the world just seems tight and hard and lonely. And all these wonderful individuals around them are affected. It's not just the individual who is affected. Depression affects everyone, and it's challenging for us as family and loved ones to be around it. It presents challenges. I'm going to read a short passage from Job chapter 7. To see, how do you think Job's mood was, and what kind of guy do you think he was to hang around? Has not man a hard service on earth, and are not his days like the days of a hired hand? Like a slave who longs for the shadow, and like a hired hand who looks for his wages, so I am allotted months of emptiness, and nights of misery are apportioned to me. When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise? But the night is long, and I am full of tossing till the dawn. My flesh is clothed with worms and dirt, my skin hardens, then breaks out afresh. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle and come to their end without hope. Remember that my life is a breath, and my eye will never again see good. The eye of him who sees me will behold me no more. While your eyes are on me, I shall be gone. As the cloud fades and vanishes, so he who goes down to Sheol does not come up. He returns no more to his house, nor does his place know him anymore. Therefore I will not restrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. How does Job sound there? How would you rate his mood? On a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being absolutely no depression, 1 being giddy, 10 being the deepest depression possible. Where do you think he's at?
He's off the scale.
He's off the scale. I am no more, words like that. When I lie down, when shall I arise? When your eyes are on me, I shall be gone. He's off the scale. And what do you notice about the dialogue, his words there? What's he doing?
Completely focused on his own misery.
World's real small. It's all closed in around him. Good. And he's complaining. You know, he is very focused on himself. And we see it, chapter 6, 7, we see it in several places. But, you know, he laments, he complains. And that's really the focus of his thinking is, look what's happened to me, this is how I feel. I think this first part of chapter 7 really kind of is a good demonstration of how we would feel if we were severely depressed.
Well, it's an honest thing. I mean, he honestly felt like that, so you can't pretend.
Good empathy. Yeah, he really felt that way, and you can feel it when you read it. Don't you kind of feel it too? Yeah, this was not him. This is not hyperbole necessarily, was it? This was how he felt.
And what's lacking from his lament, I mean, Bob has taught on lamenting. What's lacking from his lament is then turning to the Lord.
Right.
He's saying, I will never again see good.
He's all inside. Right, I will never see good again.
To his defense, there are moments he has those.
Yeah. I'm not, I mean.
Yeah, later on we see it, but in this snapshot, he is all closed up. Okay? The depressed person may become prickly or sensitive. Do you see that? Where he seems kind of prickly. I will speak in anxious in spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Just kind of downcast, gnarly, in a bad mood. He's sad. The depressed person, the words they use and the way they behave may have a negative demeanor to it all the time. A flat demeanor, I should put it that way, where there's not just a lot of affection in their face, words kind of flat, not a lot of emotion, and their overall manner of going through their day, kind of negative. How do you think it is on a family, a loved one, when they're like that? Somebody, anybody. What's that like, you think?
I feel like you're walking on eggshells when you're around them.
Why?
Because you're afraid to say something because everything is mistaken. And then turn into an even more negative. So you
Comes back on you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm not going to touch you again. If I touch you, I get bit. Okay? And it turns negative right away.
People around the depressed person might think that it's their fault. It's something they've done or haven't done. That this
Very good point. Very good point. You're right. The depressed person may not want to ever go out. Very common. I'm going to stay home. If I have to go out, I'm going to go do it and get back. I don't want to talk to anybody. I can't talk to anybody. If I talk to anybody, I'll cry or I'll blow up. I can't control it. I want to stay home or limit how much I'm out. Very lethargic, willing to isolate themselves, detached from love, that become detached from loved ones, family members, friends, work, just detach themselves from everything. It's hard, as you know, and I know everybody here, we want to be compassionate, we want to be helpful, and we would certainly try, but it's hard. We're motivated to do it, we're going to do it, we're going to try, but let's just recognize it's hard to help that person, friend, loved one who's depressed. A lot of for the reasons that Bob pointed out. But I'll point out early on, got you just a minute, that the depressed person does know when they are loved. They can recognize, well, this person loves me. I don't know why I'm so bad. But they recognize and feel and sense the love you have. They recognize kindness when it's extended to them, even if they don't have the words to show it, even if they snap your head off, which is totally, it doesn't make sense, but they will do it. Well, we got a good spot from Brandon here. Right there? Okay. Friends and family are faced then with opportunities to demonstrate Christ's love. It's a very sacrificial thing they have to do. Be very persistent in demonstrating Christ's love to that person. You had a comment, question?
Yeah, Bob said you feel like you're walking on eggshells. And one of the effects it has on people around your family is that the depressed person is actually driving a bus. And they don't even know it because people are, whether it's a family function or, what about Uncle Joe? He's not going to like that, so we'll do this. And everybody gives in.
That's a good
And not,
You're right.
and it creates long-term resentment.
The whole family suffers with him, whether they don't realize it, but it drags the whole family into it. And like how you said that they drive the bus. Because we love them, So, to go with that, that's a good segue to my next point. Here's some common thoughts or experiences or emotions experienced by family and friends. It is common for the family, loved ones, and so on, to become weary. Depression is not an overnight experience. It can go on for a long time. It can recur. Mood lifts for a period of time, go through life, things are fine, and then back down again. major depressive disorder recurring. Stuff, and then back into it, then back to normal. And so the family, imagine the family then, like, here we go again. They're not coming out of their room. They won't come eat. They won't be with us. Are we going through this cycle again? What the heck? You know, are we going to have to go to the hospital again? You know, the family becomes weird. Maybe some thoughts like, why don't they tell me that they appreciate me? I'm doing all this. I'm doing this for them. I make their meal for them, or I'm cleaning up for them, or I'm there for them, and they never say thank you. Or if they say it, I don't believe them, which could be sometimes. They never say thank you. They never show gratitude for all the things I'm doing for them. Why don't they tell me they love me? They don't tell me they love me. What's going on here? And then the one I like most and see the most is, how come I can't fix them? I'm doing all this. Why won't they get better? You know, I am praying for them. I am doing, and they won't get better. You can almost imagine the family, kind of going with where Dave's at, getting depressed with them. You know, and just they're all swirling around. It could lead to mixed motives on the part of the friends, family, loved ones, where you pay attention to their symptoms. You devote time to them. You go over to their house. You clean their house. You make meals for them. You go over and pray with them. You do those things as a way to assuage your own guilt and sorrow over their situation. Over, maybe you had a role. We talked about that weeks ago. Sometimes we've got a role in what happened there. And we kind of get caught in a little codependency loop of, let me do these things so they feel better, so that I feel better. And that's a swirl around the drain you don't want to get into. So there's lots of ways that this person's depression can draw in or affect all the people that are around them. Let's talk one more time. We did a few weeks ago, but let's talk again about how the depressed person sees the world around them. The depressed person sees the world through gray-colored glasses. You all remember that? Talk about gray-colored glasses. They filter everything they see through those, just like glasses. Everything they see goes through the glasses. And thus they miss the importance of things that are important. They totally miss the point, may even misinterpret the content of something important, and construe it as untrue, or find something in there that's not there. Totally missing the point. And this is where family and friends can begin to help. We can, with the knowledge that the depressed person sees the world through gray-colored glasses and goes through their day, this day is going to be bad, or this day is going to be yet another day of gloom, and anything that good happens we'll talk about this in a minute, anything that good happens is not really good. Happy is not happy. I'm always sad. Knowing that, there's things we can do to be with them. We can begin to pray without ceasing. 2 Timothy 5, Bob?
1 Thessalonians 5.
1 Thessalonians 5? Okay. Had a T in there. Pray without ceasing, in person and with them. In person, they're in your prayers, of course. But take time, particularly if it's a spouse, child, family, to sit with them and tell them let's just stop for a minute. I'm going to pray for you right now. Let's sit down together, and encourage them to pray, of course, but pray for them right there with them. Go over to their house or take a time out of the busy morning, hustle bustle, whatever, in their office, and pray for them. The power of prayer, in person and with them. You might need to, even though it doesn't feel right, they've been mean, or they've been uncaring, haven't been affectionate, be kind anyway. Golly, isn't that the kind of love your neighbor kind of thing? Be kind. But maybe express it. We all want to do the right thing, but maybe lean into it a little bit. Be kind to them. Love them. Be patient. Don't convey to them the exasperation you feel inside. You can go and pray that away. But put out your best face forward with them and be patient. And then when you get a chance, go pray about your exasperation. Because you're going to feel exasperated or upset. Go pray about that. But put your best face forward and work with them. Show patience, love, and kindness. Compassionately provide encouragement. And the depressed individual will constantly say, well, I can't go out. I can't go get a new job. I can't go over to Susie's house. I can't clean my room. I can't do homework or housework anymore. I just can't. I can't do it today. Or I can't because, for some reason, I can't go do that. Say to them, well, let's try together. Let's try. Hey, I understand. Let's try that together. Can we? Might be a big imposition on you, but man, coming alongside them and helping them succeed at something, coming alongside of them and helping them accomplish something that day, they're going to feel better. Here, I'll help you do the dishes, dear. Or here, let's go do this together. Let's go to the grocery store together and go be normal. You know what I mean? Go do something out of the house. That's the best of it, to get out of the house. Let's try and do this together. Or you may hear words like, no, I'm just a worthless person. Look at how bad things are going for me. Nobody likes me and I'm a worthless person. Or you'll hear words like that. And you can remind them, particularly it's your spouse or family, no, let's confront that. You're not worthless. You're important to me, and you're certainly important to Christ. And have your favorite Bible verse, what Christ did for them, has done for them. Don't have to preach a sermon. Just know you're not worthless. You're important to me. You're important to Christ. Challenge that thought. You may hear words like, I've messed everything up. Look at this mess I've made. Look at our search. Because I can't do anything, I lost my job. I've messed it all up. I am right here for you. You're not alone. I'm right here. Me and you. I'm right here. We'll figure it out. I'm right here. So you can see the trend there is drawing alongside that individual. You're ministering to them, right? You're drawn alongside them. So let me take us another level and how things you can do. I'm out of worksheets. I got one right here. Handouts. Things you can do and say and be aware of with that person. This would be point number 4, offering to work together. As you draw alongside of them, things you can do or should do with this individual. First of all, agree on a goal. Try to find and talk your way into with them what's something that needs, in a big picture, what's something you're lacking or need? And it'd be nice if you could lead them, or they come out with, well, I haven't been praying. I haven't been going to church because I'm stuck at home. Or if I go to church, it feels empty and doesn't affect me. I don't feel like I'm participating. I guess would be a way to say that. Well, let's work. Let's just together do Bible study and work on your spiritual life. I kind of see people with 4 dimensions. What the biggest one being we're all spiritual, and work on that with them. How many times have we said depression's a spiritual problem, right? We'll work on it. You can do pray with them regularly, open the Bible up and study the Bible with them, bring them to church. Try to focus on that first and foremost. Other goals that you might be able to help them with, what can we do to look for work? They're sad because they're unemployed. They're sad because they lost their job. What can we do? What can we work on together to go find work? You know, these big goals. What can we do to work on to return to church? Or what can we do? What can we work on together to return to school? You get it? These are big things that they've probably pulled away from that you draw alongside. Let's together sort this out. And then you just peel that back, slow steps, one at a time, towards that. An idea I think we could all do, particularly if the individual's in therapy, if they are seeing a therapist and working on their depression, probably, not always, but probably, they have to do homework. They're given a handout, or they're given a book, or they're given something that the therapist has asked them to work on until the next session together. Hey, did you get, hey dear, or son, daughter, whoever, did your therapist give you homework? Yeah, they gave me the sheet, but I don't feel like doing it. Or I haven't done it yet, or whatever. It may be too personal, they don't want to do it with you, or they might appreciate doing that homework with you. To get it done and to talk with you about whatever that assignment is that they're working on. To be able to externalize these internal feelings to somebody who loves them. Do their homework with them. Things around the home to do. Build structure. Be dependable. Be reliable. The day kind of needs to be structured and have attainable goals, regularity to it, and things that require the individual to engage the world. Right? Behavior activation. Structure is good. I've worked with folks, let's get out our calendar and figure out what we're doing this week. And what doctor's appointments you got? I don't have any doctor's appointment. Well, you need a doctor's appointment. You need a dentist appointment. What day are you going to make the dentist appointment? What time are you going to make the dentist appointment? What else has to be done? Well, I got to go get groceries this week. Well, what day are you going to go get groceries? You do it in the morning or the afternoon. Filling up the schedule a little bit, right? Working your way through that. Setting a Bible study time together and getting it on a calendar. These are all, and I've got a few more, are all attainable goals that as the depressed individual begins to engage the world a little more and start eliminating that, what's closing them in a little bit at a time. Going out to the grocery store. Going out and working in their garden. Going out to visit a friend. Taking a walk. Behavior activation. Get out and away and doing things different. They begin to feel better. It's amazing. Regularity of their routine. A regular bedtime. An alarm in the morning to get out of bed on time. Instead of, as some will do, is sleep the world away. I mean, they will stay in bed. Good. And work with them, that's not good. What time we want to get up in the morning? What's a good time to get up in the morning? I like to get up at 6. Okay, and then you can start working the day in. What are we going to do after that? I'm going to take a walk in the morning before it gets hot. You know, come back and make breakfast. All attainable goals. You know, things that after they do them for a while, it's wonderful. They begin to feel better because they're achieving something, successful. Regular bedtime, a good morning routine, regular meal times with good food. Notice that with college students, people who are single, of not eating good food. You know, there's eating food, there's eating good food, right? And food that helps your body function well, not eating at 10 o'clock at night, you know, eating an appropriate meal. All these little things that we take for granted are important to helping them feel better. Right? Not a balanced meal, eaten at regular meal times, regular exercise. Regular exercise. It doesn't have to be Ironman level of exercise. It needs to be where you are moving. They are moving. You might have to do it with them to get them going again. Just, man, my cardiologist is big on this. Just walk. And if you can work that up to about an hour, if you've got an hour to give, that's more better. But do what you can. I literally started with one individual. Can you walk for 10 minutes? You know, and you know, I started at 30 minutes. And I can't walk for 30 minutes. No, that's too much. Too long to be outside. You know, I don't know. But man, 10 minutes next week. No, you did good. You walked 10 minutes, 3 times a week. Can we do 15 this week? And there, well, I can. No big deal. Just got to walk 5 minutes farther. 2.5, and I'll break. It's just 2.5 minutes longer one direction, and 2.5 the other one. So I can get them to 15 pretty easy, you know. And oh yeah, and next thing you know, man, I like this. You know, they're getting new shoes and all this good stuff. Because it feels good, it helps their mood, gets those hormones and neurotransmitters and all that stuff going. I mentioned homework, hygiene. Very important for some. This circle closes so much, have zero desire to go out, won't go out, and do not care. It's, you know, they might not care about how they look so much. Might not bathe regularly, clean their clothes, pick up things around the house that need picked up regularly, make their bed. No, that's hygiene, but you get it? You know, and maybe they need to be reminded. You know, hey buddy, when's the last time you took a shower? What is your routine? And if you get real straightforward, what's your routine for bathing? When's the last time you bathed? Well, I haven't needed to bathe for a week. You know, that's a little long, man. You know, get out your calendar. What days are we going to bathe? You know, let's try it. Let's shoot for every day. You know, what time would you like to do that? You know, maybe after you walk in the morning, come back and bathe. You know, yeah, man, I should be doing that. I used to do it all. You know, just the world closed in on them. Nothing mattered anymore. As you do these things, as you engage this family, person in your family, loved one, to really be alongside them and do these things, you need let your yes be yes from 1 Timothy 4:8. You need to follow through. This is a long walk with them, so to speak. As you sit there and, you know, you got to think about yourself. What am I able to do in my busy day? I'm able to call them in the morning and check on them once a week to come over to their house. That's what I'm able to do. You know, and that's when we'll pray together. We'll commit to that and follow through on it. Because that shows you're there, you're dependable and reliable. You know, you get that, right? Let your yes be yes. You don't have to do all these things. hopefully other folks are filling in what you can't do somewhere, somehow. But you commit to something and be regular at it. That makes sense? Okay. I mentioned earlier, we're going to move this other hand up, providing encouragement and challenging when they say, I can't do that, or I won't, that'll never work. That just won't work for me. Challenging those unhelpful thinking styles, distorted thinking. I think we talked about that briefly several weeks ago, about how the brain will just lie. The heart's lying, and we fall for it. And on this sheet, the one with pictures there, it's good. The one with pictures, here are some very common unhelpful thinking styles that people will use to justify what's going on, to sustain it, to keep from having to do something, to keep from having to change, to keep why they are not going to go outside. Even Job engaged in this chapter 7, verse 7. Remember that my life is a breath. My eye will never again see good. You notice that on this sheet there's one of those, right? Right there, it's an unhelpful thinking style. He, to say never again, that'll never happen. I'll never be able to do that again. Well, how does he know that? And you can challenge that. We don't know what the future holds. All right? That's an easy one to challenge. Overgeneralizing. Let's look at some of these together and see if we can, agree or disagree, or a time when we've seen these in our own life or in the life of others. All or nothing thinking, people get that one? When's the time you've used that yourself or seen it? Somebody? Anybody done that? It's either all right or it's all wrong. Anybody a perfectionist? Crickets all of a sudden.
Nobody wants to admit it. Come on.
Has anybody done that? I bet you we all have at one time or another. Used all or nothing thinking. If I'm not perfect, I have failed. Either this is perfect or it's all bad. And what's a good, when you hear that, or if you use it yourself, what can you remind yourself of? What can you say to yourself?
Only Christ is perfect.
Only Christ was perfect. Okay, good. Right? It's true.
Everything about God is perfect. I'm not God.
What else? I like it, but what else? I'm trying, I've done a project, I've built my fire pit in my backyard. It's not perfect. It's a little out of level over here.
It's not.
I'm going to kick it over. What's that, Jan?
It's not a perfect world.
A room is never square. Right, Dave? It's never square. Right. The world is imperfect, and what I attempted to do, man, I've actually done a pretty good job, and start finding things that are right about what they did, or good outcomes, or whatever, and but you can just challenge that head on. The world is never perfect. Only one person's perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Let's look at the result you did achieve. Right.
I did the best I could. I know.
Yeah, if you can get them to see that. Yeah.
What started out as my fire pit is now filled with flowers.
You made something else out of it.
I just laid out the blocks. I didn't really set it just to see how it would look.
Uh-huh.
And then I didn't finish it, so Michelle started. It's like, well, it got hot, okay. And Michelle, it's like the rose nursery, the plants that are sick go there and they thrive. It's like, I'm not going to...
You didn't know what you were making. You weren't making a fire pit at all. You were making a nursery.
It's like the soil is perfect for plants.
Just rename it. It's brilliant.
It's the flower nursery.
The flower what?
The flower hospital.
The flower hospital. That's not a fire pit. Come on. Overgeneralizing. Who's done that? Anybody?
Everybody.
All of us? Yeah. But when we get stuck in it, this goes bad. I do something at work. I work on something. It comes out bad. I'll never be able to learn this. I'll never be capable of doing this, because there's the evidence right there. I'm not smart enough for this global. It goes bad one time, and we apply that to forever. Nothing good ever happens because of this. See, that's another way to twist that one. Because of that, that's just proof. I'm worthless all over in every way. Mental filter. I never do anything good. No, that'll turn out bad. No, that ain't worth trying. Nothing good. Look at this. I tried this, it was bad, this was bad. Even though there's all these successes that have occurred, things that weren't bad, only things that get remembered are the failures. Disqualifying the positive, that's the inverse really, is when anything good happens, well, I had help, or I got lucky, or I don't know why that worked out. Just kind of, hey, that was good what you did. That worked out good. You got to the grocery store on time. Or you got to the grocery store and shopped. Yeah, but I didn't go at the time we said we were going to do it. I told you I was going to do it at 3, I did it at 4. But just disqualify the positive. Jumping to conclusions, mind reading, and fortune telling. Anybody not done that?
I have a question, Rick.
Yeah.
On the mental filter,
Mm-hmm.
so noticing our failures but not seeing our successes, is that because we attach so much emotion to our failures?
Yeah, they hurt.
Not enough emotion to our successes?
Well, remember, we're seeing things through dark glasses anyway. And the sadness of having another failure reminds us that we're worthless and can't do anything. And that's being depressed. We're kind of gravitating towards that. It kind of reinforces why we're depressed. I don't know if I'm answering your question.
So the opposite, if we had more emotion tied to successes, would we help ourselves to avoid that?
Like in general, if you're not a depressed person by nature or in a depressed state, but yet, failures, like you can,
Yes.
you can just say something and something will come flooding back that was...
Yeah, you don't have to be depressed to engage this mental filter. And when something goes wrong, you right away flip to, well, it's always that way. I never do this right, or I'll never be able to do it right. Even though you do all these other things wonderfully. And I think if I understand your question, it's because we would tend to gravitate to that negative feeling. Because maybe when we were younger, somebody said something or something happened to us, and when we remember that past painful event, even subconsciously, that just gets a whole other cascade of emotions. So it's probably attached to something that happened earlier. So there it is again. I can never do this. And you got to challenge that yourself, yourself or the person you love, and say, no, wait a minute, you're not always a failure. No, come on. You're great. You've done that right 10 times. One time it messes up and you throw the whole thing out. Yeah, man.
It's not you deny how you feel at all, but you have to learn how to separate how you feel compared to what you think. They're often two different things.
That's always
true. I always see, reporters stick a microphone to somebody's face and, how do you feel? How did that make you feel? So she asking me, or he asking me how I feel or what I think about it. Because sometimes
They're
they're
different
often
things.
two different things.
Thoughts and emotions are different. Yeah.
It's, I mean, somebody asks me what I feel about war, I could give you a list of how it's the most bored, useless. What I think is sometimes it's necessary.
Right.
How you think and how you feel are.
Okay. War makes you sad, but what you think about it is totally different. Yeah.
And Rick, also, I think the importance of being grateful for what you do have, whether you're depressed, whether you're not depressed, if you make a routine every day of considering things that you are grateful for, you start to go down that spiral into that rabbit hole where you think about what is good and the things that you are grateful for.
That'd be a great homework assignment for a depressed person, is to sit with them every day. What are 5 things we're thankful for today?
Yeah.
You know?
And just as a part of prayer.
I think somebody taught us to do that.
Pray regularly. Count your blessings, as the song says.
You're absolutely right. That works. And there, it makes me laugh because there's all these, you gotta be careful here. No, I don't. Writers who write articles for Psychology Today or this, that, or other thing, even empirical studies, on the power of gratitude, and if a person will just focus on what they're thankful for every day, they won't be depressed anymore, or they'll get better, or their attitude will change.
Yeah.
It's true, but again, why is it true? Because nobody gets better unless God ordains it. So it's biblical truth they don't recognize yet. What?
God has ordained and commanded us to be grateful for all things.
Yes. So when we're showing gratitude, we're being obedient. And that always feels good. Doesn't it? To be obedient? All right. There's other, I want to wrap it up here, but there's other unhelpful thinking styles there. Put that away. Save it somewhere. The folks that I work with who are anxious all the time, just suffering from anxiety, they'll go through these same thinking styles. So depressed folks, I'll tell them, put it on your refrigerator, put it on your mirror, and when you know it's yourself ruminating about something, overthinking something, go back here and see what it is, which unhelpful thinking style are you using? That's justifying why you're ruminating and feeling so anxious or feeling so sad or both. Oh, I am really just, if I'm honest, I've overgeneralized this thing that happened today. Okay, and then answer it. All right, well, what would spiritual mind, what would say to that? What is a way to address that? What's another healthy response to that instead of looking at it negative?
Can I ask you something, Rick? I mean, in your profession, in what you do, every time somebody comes to you, they're coming to you with problems. I mean, what at the end of the day, what is that? Does that pile up on you? I mean,
it can. And I will say, in my case, God is gracious to me. And if
it's a blessing.
It is. When I remember to pray, I'm able to walk out and just shed the right word or leave it behind. But I'm not perfect. But I've noticed that when I rush out, a couple days in a row, just rush out of the office, things tend to linger with me. God is faithful to teach me lessons. So, I hope I answered your question. Yes. Yeah, hearing all that stuff definitely affects you. It would affect anybody.